checking on that. So we'll find out whether they received a variance or a text amendment at that time, but they was more than likely it was a variance and they were granted it. So there are two different situations here that I'm sure they're going to use on Wednesday to justify why they should get this 8 feet. If you're against the project, please show up to the meeting and speak at the council meeting, even if you just stand up, one person speaks and everybody else stands up. So it's very important. This is a major project. I know everyone else is concerned about their beaches and the beach erosion. Please, I'm holding a town hall meeting on the 16th at the marina, and we will have all the county people. These are the county engineers that work on the environmental issues for the beach. They will be at the meeting. We will also have the coastal engineer that is looking into the long-term solution that was hired by the county and the city. The county does not want to bring sand there this year because we have so many projects, seawall projects under construction. They think it's going to be too complicated to do it. I can tell you that the city will be looking into bringing sand onto the beach. We budgeted money. You know, we did it last year for Via Delfino and the Sea Winds. We will do something this year. Hopefully we could do it. We will be working with the state to try and buy some additional land for parks on Riviera Beach, which will make us, under the state law, more of a public beach. The state has different requirements for ratings that gives us the ability to get sand and the county to get the sand. So if we can get some additional land for parks, and there are federal funds out there and state funds out there. So we'll be working, we'll be asking our friend, the Honorable Mike Caruso, to help us on the state level. And he's always been there to support us. And thank you for being here today, Mike. Mike has always been, I know he helped Julie when Julie was commissioner. He's been very helpful to me for the 2 years I've been here. We're very lucky to have him representing us in the state. But please come on the 16th, and please come to the council meeting on Wednesday. If you, either way, whichever way you believe this building, whether you're for it or against it, please come to the meeting, see the presentation, speak up, sign a petition if you're against it. I know everyone, of course, is talking about the south end of the island, the 228-story towers that were plans were submitted to the city unofficially. But yes, we'll discuss that at the hearing too, even though it's not on the calendar. We'll talk about that a little as well. That's all I have to say today, but thank you so much. Please contact my office. Oh, Phil, you have a question?
What time is the meeting on the 16th?
6 p.m. at the marina in the event center. Everyone's condo should have received a poster. If you want, we can get it to you digitally so you can send it to your all the owners in your buildings. It will be on YouTube and it will be on Channel 18. Okay?
Thank you so much, Glenn. Thanks very much for being there.
Julie.
Thanks. And now, do we have a representative from Palm Beach Shores to speak and fill us in on Palm Beach Shores? Mayor Fires?
Mayor Fires is not here, so I will be
Great.
my name is Kathleen McGarren.
Kathleen, would you sit down, please?
Yes, I'm a
Thank you.
commissioner in Palm Beach Shores.
Could someone move the camera to Kathleen, or could,
Short
there we go.
update,
Thank you.
do a short update on Palm Beach Shores. First tonight, the Sailfish Marina is having a boat parade. It's the regular boat parade starts going here north, but this boat parade is going to start at the Sailfish Marina and go south. The lot used to be the former Sea Spray lot that's on Ocean Avenue. That Sea Spray lot is now under review, and they have come to the Planning and Zoning Commission with their new plans and such. So they will be probably building within the next year. You'll start to see some action on that property there. Other than that, we're smooth. We're riding along. We do have an election this year. There are 4 people trying to get to 3 positions on the commission board. The mayor has been selected because there was no opposition to the mayor. All right, so Tracy Larcher is now going to be our new mayor in Palm Beach Shores starting in March. Now, Mayor Fires is well, the election happens in March. Tracy Larcher will then be installed. And the mayor Fires, after his many years of work with the city, is retiring. And it's well-deserved retirement. He's actually looking forward to it. Okay, that's all I have to say, everyone.
Kathleen, could you wait there just a second? I
Sure.
want to say thank you because there's another retirement that we should celebrate, and that's Kathleen's from the COSI board. And we just want to thank Kathleen for all her years of service to COSI and to her community. We are so grateful that you've been here to help us, and we just want to say thanks. And I was going to say that at the end, but since you're in the hot seat there, I thought I would bring it up now. Thank you so much, Kathleen, and thanks for filling in for Mayor Fires. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, great.
Thank
And
you.
now we welcome State Representative Tay Edmonds. Javante Edmonds serves in the Florida House representing District 88, which covers portions of Palm Beach County, including Riviera Beach. And prior to his election, he built a career in public service and community leadership, giving him a practical perspective on how state policy affects local communities. And we are so pleased to have him with us this morning, Representative Edmonds.
Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for having me today. As Julie stated, my name is Javante Edmonds. I cover District 88, which includes Lake Park, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Mangonia Park, and Royal Palm Beach. So I am the neighbor to the west of you. I'm honored to be here today. I know that the former state representative is in the room, Michael Caruso. He is a phenomenal legislator and a great friend of mine. Just so you residents know, his election has been scheduled for January 13th. That is when the primary will be held. That will also be the first day of session. And the general will be held on March 24th, towards the end of session. So unfortunately, this particular session, you will not have a sitting state representative, but all the members of our Palm Beach County delegation, there are a total of 12 of us currently, we represent you. We know your issues and we are fighting for you in Tallahassee. And so we understand this year in the legislative session that starts January 13, the overall theme is affordability. We understand that people are being priced out of their homes, insurance rates are continuously skyrocketing, and those everyday expenses are continuously increasing. And so, if you all saw last week, the governor recently put forth his budget. The budget is $117 billion. To put that into perspective, if the state of Florida was its own country, the state of Florida would be the 15th largest economic engine in the world. And so this particular session, we have a lot of opportunity to help change the face and shape the lives of residents here in the state of Florida. As you all have heard, we've been having a lot of conversations around property taxes, and you all know property taxes fund fire, police, your education system, a variety of community projects. But there has been about 7 to 8 proposals put forth in how we will work with property taxes this year. I won't go over all of them, but I will say there are a few great ones that maybe we are looking at. House Joint Resolution 2009, or excuse me, 209, is going to add a home exemption of $100,000 for anybody that has a home with property insurance. There is again about 8 proposals on the table. All of them are going to end up cutting the budgets of counties and cities. So we're looking at a balance of how we give relief to residents and also how we continuously fund our counties. If all of the property tax proposals are passed, essentially it will bankrupt many of the counties, especially in rural areas. We have about 29 physically constrained counties here in the state of Florida out of the 67 total. And many of those really depend on them collecting property taxes. So we're going to be debating this all throughout session. It's going to be one of the hottest topics. And what people truly care about, the real issue at hand, the real boogeyman, is the property insurance companies. And so in the past, we have put forth legislation to address property insurance, dealing with how we deal with litigation. We passed legislation in regards to making sure that insurance companies can be competitive here by making sure they have money in their reinsurance pot. And we've also created different programs like the My Safe Florida program that gives out money to residents to fix up their homes. And we have also created the My Safe Florida pilot condo program. And this is something I really want you all to pay attention to. The condo pilot program gives out $175,000 to help fix up the condo association. The goal of that program is to help make sure that you're ready for storms and make sure that you can mitigate the disasters in the future and lower your premiums for your insurance companies. So we are going to continuously fund that pilot program, and I really want you all to make sure you apply for that $175,000. So when we're also just talking about property insurance, there has been a few proposals put on the table. Majority of those proposals look like instead of going to litigation when you're having a distribution or argument with an insurance company, you go to mediation. And so we're trying to force more mediation instead of litigation. We will also see legislation trying to cap the increases on Citizens, which is a state-owned insurance company, on how much they can increase their premiums year after year. There are proposals about creating a rating system. Right now, we have tons of new insurance companies moving into the state, and we don't know a lot of them. Some of these companies are no-name companies, and so we want to create a rating system like the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, where we can see the strength of these insurance companies coming in, and are they potentially insolvent? And last but not least, we have a program that will create a trust fund to help residents who may go through financial hardships and that we can particularly help them out through a grant. Now, I know something that's very important to you on the island is the SIRS, the Structural Integrity Reserve Study. That has been a huge issue. And we know the intention of that legislation was to make our condo associations more safe. After the collapse of Surfside, we acted immediately to pass legislation that would help residents to make sure that they would have long-term structural relief in the future. What happened was essentially when we passed that legislation, we asked the associations to have their reserves fully funded. In that time frame, insurance rates were skyrocketing. In that same time frame, the cost of construction and inflation skyrocketed as well. And so what that led to was high assessments put onto residents. In my district in particular, we were seeing assessments of $20,000 to $50,000 put in onto the burden of residents. And so last year, Representative Vicky Lopez, who really champions these issues, she's from Miami, she passed legislation to push back the date of the SIRS report to this year. Initially, it was due last year, but it is actually due at the end of the month this year. She created more flexibility on how associations can finance their reserves. So instead of just passing down assessments to residents, they can also take out a loan, they can get a line of credit, they can also commingle their funding so they can create more interest on that money. And they can also invest into certificates or deposits to also increase their investments. So we're 100% aware of the burden that was placed on residents, and that's why we're creating more options for flexibility on how to fund that reserve. And I'm hoping that we will see more legislation this year on how to change some of the issues that we caused within that legislation. So we're exactly 1 month out from legislation session. And we've had almost 1,000 bills already filed. Typically, we see about 2,000 pieces of legislation. And so this may be a slower session, but it is still going to be filled with really tackling those kitchen table problems. So I wanted it to be very brief and short because I know we have other presentations. If you all have any questions, free to take them. And again, as you all may not have a state representative currently, I'm an open door. If you all need anything, I am a phone call away.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I'm interested in this $175,000. Is that the amount you quoted? How do people get information about that? Can they contact you? Is it on the state's website somewhere?
So the easiest way is to type in the My State Florida Condo Pilot Program, but you can always email me and I can send you the link. I will tell you this year's funding has run out, but we are going to fully fund that pilot program once again. And I implore you all to apply next year.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions from the audience or in the chat?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Javante, I didn't know that you were online there, but Javante has been working very, very diligently to assist us and make up the difference. But my question is this, right now, we go for appropriation funding. So how is that going to impact Singer Island if we don't have a representative sitting there? Are you going to work on our behalf and assist us in getting an appropriation from that position? Will we still be able to get a appropriation from from our former representative Caruso's position?
That's a great question. I would need to do a little bit of research. I would assume someone in the delegation already has your appropriations. As you know, I carry all of Riviera Beaches and West Palm Beach's appropriations, but I am more than willing to carry Singer Islands as well. We did cross the appropriation deadline a couple weeks ago, but you still are represented by your state senator, Mac Bernard. And so you still have representation in the Florida House and Senate through Senator Mac Bernard.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from this audience? No, Julie, no questions on our side.
Okay, is Commissioner Powell there?
No.
Not yet. Okay, well, in that case, we will move right to, I almost said Representative Mike Caruso, but we'll call him Clerk and Controller Mike Caruso instead. It's old habits die hard. So we're very happy that Mike is here with us today in person. Mike, of course, is the Palm Beach County Clerk and Controller, and he services Palm Beach County's office. He's responsible for the county's courts, public records, financial oversight. But of course, prior to his appointment as clerk, he was our representative. And he, as Glenn said, we worked so well together, and it's a loss to us that Mike is not there, but I'm sure that he will be replaced. I hope that he'll be replaced by someone equally as competent and caring about Singer Island. But we're so honored to have you with us here today, Mike. And I hope that we can get your presentation back up on the shared screen. But in the meantime, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Julie. You know, your flattery's so off the charts there that my wife's probably going to be jealous. So, and Gervonta, good to see you online there, and I miss you guys up in Tallahassee. I don't miss the 444-mile commute drive every week. So you can do that, and I've got a 2-mile commute from now on. I live 2 miles from my office at the government center. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see so many people come out on an early Saturday morning. Who's from Palm Beach Shores here? Great. And who's from Singer Island, Riviera Beach? Great. Wow, big turnout from Riviera Beach. That's exciting. You should be honored. Way to turn out. You know, it's community meetings like this that really, I love it that everybody gets informed and they're so concerned about their communities. That's great, because if nobody was here, nobody's concerned. You know, what direction do we end up going in? You know, Gervonta, it was, you know, he presented, the representative presented, you know, all the issues that are going on in Tallahassee right now, and it's hard for me, as a former state representative, to get out of that mode, because I'm so well versed on all of those issues. They were, you know, developing last year. We voted on some of them, but I was proud to bring back some appropriations. One of them for Riviera Beach was the Emergency Response Command Center, that mobile command center that we got for the police department there. And Chief Coleman's doing an amazing job. He really stepped in, and I think he's really changed the police efforts there, and the level of safety and orderliness that we have in Riviera Beach. I think he's done a great job. So hats off to him. I don't know how long do I have, Julie?
You take as much time as you want, Mike, because we're okay. We try to be done by 10-ish. It's the ish, so you take the ish.
Okay. Well, we'll get done before then. I'm Mike Caruso. I'm the new clerk in Circuit Court and Comptroller of Palm Beach County, and in comes Senator Bobby Powell.
Yay! All right. Well,
great to see him. Senator Powell just walked in, so that just cut my time in half.
No.
Okay, so let's see. As clerk of the court and comptroller of Palm Beach County, it sounds like I got 2 titles there. And some of the counties throughout the state split it up into 2 jobs. Palm Beach County being one of the biggest counties in the state, we don't split it up. We're all in. But it's really, I've got 8 titles. give you an idea of some of the titles I have. It's not just clerk of the circuit court and comptroller. I'm also the CFO of the county, the treasurer of the county, the auditor of the county, the inspector general of the county. I'm the guardian of records for the county. That's court records, documents, deeds, everything like that. And I'm the clerk of the board of the county commissioners. And so I've got 8 official titles, and only 1 paycheck. But and when I first came in on the job, I found out I have 1,000 constitutional duties, 1,000 constitutionally stipulated duties. And so I was drinking from a fire hose trying to learn it. And they sent me to clerk school. I didn't know it was a clerk school, but all the clerks get together about 4 times a year, and they teach each other. They share information and the latest, data and software and things like that. So I went to clerk school and I passed. Okay. Yeah, I passed. That was good. I hadn't taken a test in a long time. And but I'm very excited about the position. I got appointed by Governor DeSantis back on August 18th. And that's when our current clerk, Joe Abruzzo, was resigning. He was going to resign at 11:59 p.m. on August 18th. So I'm sitting there. There was one time there was rumor that I was going to be the next lieutenant governor. And it was all in the papers, and the governor's office told me about it, everything. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be LG. And then I watch Jay Collins get appointed lieutenant governor on TV, and that's how I find out. So the rumor started that I'm going to be the next clerk of court and comptroller of Palm Beach County. So I'm all excited about that, and I read about it in the papers. The governor's office is telling me about it, and here it is, August 18th, and nothing. And I know there was a couple other people on the short list. Okay. And I'm sitting there August 18th, and it's 3 o'clock, and I get turned to my wife. We're sitting by the pool reading the book and just kind of waiting for the call. And by 3 o'clock, I turn to my wife. I said, honey, I don't think it's happening. I think it's the LG spot all over again. I'm not going to get it. And she says, honey, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You retire from politics. It's great. We'll go travel. We'll live life. And right. Bobby knows what I'm talking about. And you've done your service, and so we start planning a trip to Tuscany, right? And I'm talking to Bob. Where are you, Bob? Right. Yeah, there you are. From Tuscany, so you can appreciate that, right? Because he's going next Friday to Italy. So I'm sitting there, and we're planning this vacation, and I'm finally, for the first time in my life, I'm going, wow. I'm retired. I don't have a PA firm anymore. I'm not a state. I'm not going to be the lieutenant governor or clerk of court. I'm retired. And I'm saying, wow. And at 3:10, the governor calls me. I'm retired. Yeah, here. I really was in here. I was retired. And so the governor calls him, Mike, it's Ron. How you doing? I said, well, Governor, great. I said, what's going on? He says, well, I'm appointing you to be the clerk of court comptroller of Palm Beach County. I go, great, Governor. When do I start? He says, midnight. And he sworn in at midnight. Abruzzo's leaving at 11:59, and you have to be sworn in at midnight. There cannot be a lapse in the clerkship. And I go, great, Governor. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm honored. And I said, when do I start? He says, midnight, Mike. And I go, okay, I'll be there at midnight. So Judge Kelly swore me in at midnight, and it was game on from there. And literally drinking from a fire hose. I worked the first 60 days. I was retired for 10 minutes. And I worked the next 60 days. I was the last one to leave the office every day, worked the weekends, all that stuff. But if we go to the next screen here, what do we do here? Just to give you a volume of what we deal with in the clerk's office. We have almost 500,000 customers walk into our courthouses and our offices every year, at least last year. Almost 5 million documents processed. And give you an idea of how that's an average of 18,000 documents a day. Between October 27th and November 3rd, I think that week, I might be getting the days off 1 or 2 spaces, but we processed 35,000 documents, 35,820 documents. We get a lot. We have a big call center. We get telephone calls of 330. We do marriage licenses. We do passports, and we pay the county's bills. So what, you know, these are just some of the things we do. So they have a budget of about $10 billion in the county, and the clerk's office pays all the bills with the county's money. And we also invest the reserves of the county, which are about there by mid-February, they'll be up to about $6 billion in reserves. And what did we do on that? We invest it, we earn interest, and I'm limited to what I can invest in, and we'll get to that later though. 10 years ago, the clerk's office had they had just under 1,000 employees. Today we have 650. And you wonder, wow, how'd you go from, you fired a lot of people, Mike, since you got in. No, we haven't fired anybody. In fact, we're hiring, but we have 650 positions right now that are filled. And the way we were able to do that is through technology and AI. So we went from 1,000 employees to 650. Over that 10-year period, we didn't lay off anybody. What we did is just a natural attrition. And what we also did is we took people and moved them into different positions as we got rid of certain types of positions. For example, if you need a certified document, you don't no longer have to walk into the office, into the courthouse anymore. We have software that does it all online, and you can get certified documents online now. That saved over 1,000 trips a day coming into the courthouse. That's a lot. Okay, and then, you know, mostly attorneys or their assistants or, you know, legal secretaries coming in, but 1,000 trips a day, and 40% of those never get touched by a human or somebody at my office. They automatically go through. The other, about 59%, we might have to review it, the document. So, and that's it, as opposed to produce it and all that. AI is going to pull it up and all that. We'll review it to make sure it's the right one that they're asking. And it's all because of the information you put in when you go online to get a certified document. So AI and technology has really changed our offices. Probably the next one that we do, next area that we use AI on is our call center. So that if you call, you won't get a person. Now, we're not doing this right now, but I see that as the next transition. And I won't be changing it over until AI is so good that you don't know it's not a person. Okay, that's when we'll change it over, when you cannot tell that it's not a person. And then we'll take all those individuals, which are some of my most talented individuals, because they have to, in the call center, they have to know everything. They have to know if you want to record a document, you want to, you know, say somebody calls and they want to get a restraining order or something like that. Well, they don't know the right term for restraining order. So they start talking about, you know, they go on with the story. Oh, you need, you know, here, you need a restraining order. Here's the form. And they'll email you the form, things like that. And then they'll actually help you go through the form itself until you've got it all completely filed and done properly. So that's AI. That's we also have walk-in call service centers. If you want to go to the courthouse, it's a beautiful courthouse. We have one of the prettiest courthouses in the state, and we have 5 courthouses in Palm Beach County, whether it's North County or South County and Delray Beach, North County and Palm Beach Gardens, or Belle Glade, Gun Club Road in West Palm Beach, or the main courthouse. We've got 5 courthouses, but the courthouse here in West Palm Beach is the only one that has jury trials. So, and that's what's unique about that, the big courthouse. But we have a call center, a walk-in service center. They're amazing. There's one woman there, Irene Caruso. Go see her. She's not a relative. But she doesn't call me clerk. She's the only one out of 650 that doesn't call me clerk. She calls me cousin. Probably am a cousin or something like that. We'll see. But there was a rule that we can't hire anybody that's no family or or close friends. Jury duty. I just want who's served on a jury before? Almost just about everybody. Just about everybody. And thank you for serving. We can't have a trial by jury of our peers unless our peers are in the room, being part of the whole process. And I think it's unique of our entire system, of our judicial system and of our country, is that we have a jury by our peers. In Russia, they don't do that. You're sitting in a chair behind that glass, you're guilty. Okay. Whether you're guilty or not, you're guilty. And just to make a point, we don't do that in the United States, and certainly not in Palm Beach County. So you all make the system work. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of that. And if you haven't served on a jury, please step up and when you get served, show up. When you get your summons, show up and serve. Whether you get on a jury or not, at the end of the day, you will feel good about yourself. Just like when you vote. When we go vote, we get that little sticker at the end that says, I voted. Most people don't take it off till they get home in the evening. They wear it all day long. Who wears it? Who gets that badge and they wear it? And why do you wear it all day long? Because you're proud that you did your civic, right? Well, I'm starting something in the juror's office that when you're leaving at the end of jury duty, you're going to get a sticker that says, I served jury duty. And I hope that everybody will wear it just as proudly as you do. I voted. So just some of the little changes. We're trying to. When you go into jury duty, you sit in a room and you watch a video, right? Okay, well that video is going to change. We're gonna, how they do the airline one, right? And you never used to watch the airline one, but now everybody watches the airline video, right? Of the safety thing, because it's kind of funny usually. So we're going to kind of pick up on that theme and do that. So next one, passport applications. We do that in all those locations: Delray Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, and Belglade locations. I always tell people, if you're going on a cruise, let's say Bob, you're going to Italy this Friday, right?
Right.
And you look at your passport today. You're going to go look at it today, right? And you go, oh shoot, it's expired, right? Okay. There's a emergency service, okay, to do that, where we can get that happen. But your best bet is to call Walter, who used to be my legislative aide. He's now my chief assistant. Okay. And call Walter. He's gotten somebody's passport, two people's passport, in 24 hours.
Wow.
And we actually drove it down to the cruise ship in Fort Lauderdale and met them there at 4:00 in the afternoon, which was the deadline, but we made it by about 10 minutes. Okay. And got them on that ship because we got them that new passport. And that's not me. I just have a great assistant, Walter Boykus. And Walter, if you're watching, thumbs
We'll
up.
send the video.
Oh, good. And Walter, I'm going to give out your phone number. Okay. And you can call Walter on his cell at 954-695-5976. Okay. And that's 954-695-5976, because we're here to help you. And we've all been in that position where, oh my gosh, my passport. And so, if that happens, are you ready? Again, 954-695-5976. And if you get in that position, call him. I really encourage you to do so. We can make it happen. Let's see, what else do we do? Claim it, pay. Oh, you get a traffic ticket and you can't afford to pay that, that you were doing 85 in a 35 mile an hour zone. Like, got this $800 speeding ticket. We've got, don't not pay it. We have a payment plan. You can get it low payments as $5 a month with no interest. Okay, $5 a month, and you can go till you pay it off, which would be a long time. Okay, at $5 a month, but you can maintain your license that way. If you don't pay your tickets, they your driver's license gets suspended. If we could go to the next one, property fraud alert. Now, I passed out something like this. If you were here live, you would get, they see this? Okay.
Yes.
You would get this property fraud alert brochure. And right now, we've got a couple scams. We've got a few scams going around in Palm Beach County. One of them is a deed fraud, where somebody comes in and transfers your deed, the title to your property over to themselves. And then they go and they borrow money against it. And then you don't find out till you get a foreclosure notice. Okay. And that's a big trend. I spoke to Alexia Cox, who is our state prosecutor now. Give you an idea how prevalent it is. You say, well, it's not going to happen to me. Understand this. 2 years ago, we had 4 active cases of property fraud. Okay, 4. This is per Alexia Cox, our state prosecutor. A year ago, we had 32.
Wow.
Last year, we had over 180.
Oh my God.
Okay. Next year,
Under those mostly in condos or they're private homes?
they're both condos and private homes. And this year, we project over 800 property transactions. Okay. So who do they go after? Anybody over 65 in this room or on TV? Okay, they're coming after you. Everybody in this room except Bobby Powell. Okay. They're coming after you. And you go, and if your home is paid off, whose home is paid off? Who doesn't have a mortgage? They're really coming after you. Okay, because they know you don't have a mortgage and they know you're over 65. And you wonder, how do they do it? It's all public record. Okay. And so why do they want to come after you without a mortgage? Because it's easier for them to borrow the money against it when they fraudulently transfer it to their name. So we want to make sure it doesn't happen. I've got three public service announcements that are going to start on Monday. You'll see them on TV. And I encourage you to, with the property fraud alert, you go to mypalmbeachclerk.com/PFA. It's up on the screen. mypalmbeachclerk.com/PFA, property fraud alert, and register your property. Okay, because we want to prevent your property from being stolen. So register your property. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes, okay, to do it. And what you do is you're going to locate your property, click on your property, okay, and so you've identified your property, and it's going to ask you for email addresses. And you could put one email address, you could put your own. If you check your email every day, put your own. You could put 5 email addresses. You could put your attorney's email address on there. You could put your CPA's, tax preparer's email address on there. Put your son, email address on there. Somebody that checks it every day that's responsible. And what happens when there is a transaction on your property, like a quitclaim deed, transferring it from Kathleen's to Glenn's name for $1, okay? Okay, and Glenn, you're the bad guy here. Okay, because you went in and transferred it from Kathleen to you for $1. You're going to then borrow money against it. Okay, but when that first transfer gets filed in the courthouse, okay, it's a quitclaim deed, and you used a phony notary and all that stuff. Okay, you're going to get an email immediately when it gets recorded. You're going to get an email immediately. Now, you go in and you would call the clerk's office and go, I didn't transfer my property, right? And we put a freeze on that so that they can't then go and borrow against it. So once they transfer it, it's going to take them a couple of weeks to borrow money against that property, okay? And we've got that amount of time to shut that down. After they borrow the money, it gets very difficult. So I encourage every single person to register their properties online at mypalmbeachclerk.com/PFA so that you don't have your home stolen. 800, they're projecting over 800 this year. And
Wow.
it's sad. And You know, you see it on TV, that service, you know, that guy that stole all the properties and now he's trying to sell us the service. You get it for free right here at Palm Beach County tax clerk of court's office. Okay, so do that.
Excuse me, what prevents them to go in and change the email addresses that we register?
They can't do that. They can't do that once it's in there. Okay, can't do that. Oh, there's two other frauds going on. There's a jury summons fraud, a scam that's going on. I said we're doing 3 public service announcements. One's on property fraud, the other one's on jury summons fraud. It's scam. And the jury summons scam is it's amazing. It's so good. As I got the call as clerk, and I'm listening to the whole thing. They call up and they go, "Hi, this is Sergeant so-and-so from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Is this Michael Allen Caruso?" And I go, "Yes, it is." I go, "Well, what can I do for you, Sergeant?" And he says, "Well, Mr. Caruso, do you live at 4444 North Flagler Drive in West Palm Beach, Florida?" "Yes, I do." And were you born in 1958? Yes, I am. Mr. Caruso, you failed to appear for a jury summons back in over a month ago, and there's a warrant out for your arrest. Okay, and they're good. They're really good. And the only thing that kind of teed me off, okay, was that he eventually transfers me to a lieutenant to pay off the warrant. Okay. And I know the lieutenant's name that they were talking about. Okay. And so when he transferred me to him, I go, "This isn't Lieutenant so-and-so." In my mind, I'm thinking, this isn't that guy. Okay. Cause I know Lieutenant so-and-so. So I call Rick Bradshaw. You ever heard of him? Okay. That's wife's phone. I go, "Rick, listen to this." He says, "Mike, it's a scam. Hang up." I said, "No, I want to hear the whole thing." You know, and he says, "It's a scam." And I said, they're using a Lieutenant so-and-so's name and Sergeant they're using real guys. I know. You know, and what they do is they try to get you to pay off your warrant. Rick Bradshaw's comment, he goes, "Mike, I'll just leave you with this." He says, "Mike, if there's a warrant out for your arrest, we're not going to call you. Okay, we're just going to go up and arrest you. That's the way we do it. And you can't pay off a warrant for your arrest." Okay, so understand that. So that's one of the frauds. Don't get caught by it. I say if when in doubt, don't give your information out. Okay, because it can all wait till the next day. If there's a warrant out there for you today, there's a warrant out there for you tomorrow. We can call Mike Caruso and make sure it's, not real. So that's another one. The other one, the final one, is traffic citations. This is a really good one. They call you up. Okay. So again, it's Sergeant so-and-so. No, this one they call up and they say they're from the clerk's office and they know everything about you because everything on that traffic citation is public record. And what they were doing, I found this out about 2 months ago, about a month into my job, I found out that anybody can go online into the clerk's office and download every traffic violation issued today or yesterday or 2 days ago. For $7, you can get the list of every traffic violation in Palm Beach County. Okay. And so not only how when you get a traffic violation, the next couple of days, you get all these mailers in the mail from attorneys, right? Well, the attorneys were downloading it for $7. Okay. But the scammers figured it out and they started downloading it. Now, what's on your traffic violation? Pull out your driver's license. Everything on the driver's license is in the traffic citation. Everything. So what they do is they call you up. This is Mike Caruso from the clerk's office, or whoever from the clerk's office. Mr. Mike Caruso, did you get this is Sergeant so-and-so from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. You had a traffic violation 3 weigks ago. That traffic violation is your address this? Is your date of birth this? Are you 5'11" and weigh 185 pounds? Yes. And were you going 85 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone? And your citation number is so-and-so. And you're going, yes, because it happened. It's a real citation. and they go, your citation is due in 3 days. Oh, I forgot about it. I'm gonna send it out, because they only go for the ones that are almost due. And they go, well, you're welcome to mail it in. You're welcome to mail it in, because they're trying to act legitimate, right? But if it doesn't get here by that third day, let's say it's a Tuesday, if it doesn't get here by Thursday, it's gonna be late and your license is gonna get suspended. And I can't tell you all the difficulty it's gonna be to reinstate your license. Plus, there's gonna be fees and fines and all that for your license being suspended on top of what you got, and your late fees for your citations. And well, you can mail it in, but if you'd rather, we could take your information today and you could pay it over the phone. Do you have a credit card or a debit card? And you give your information to a scammer over the phone, because it's that good. I'll call you in a second. And they're that good. And meanwhile, you pay them, but you didn't pay off the ticket, and your license does get suspended down the road because you never paid your ticket. You think you did. So that's a big problem. Don't fall for that. First, Samari? Sarbury. Sarbury.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a trick.
Yes,
Yeah.
invisible.
Can I buy an H? Vanna White, is there an H? No.
Question. Why would you still allow why would the office still allow all these?
Oh, what I did 2 months ago,
Yes.
I don't let them download everything. I have to make it public record. That's the law. The legislature, Bobby's a commissioner now. But our senators and our representatives in the legislature can change that law. But what I am able to do is, I have to keep it public record, but I can make you download each one individually. I can slow you way down, and I can charge you a fee for each one.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what 2 months ago, that's what we implemented.
Do they, if you are downloading, is there a way to force them to submit all of their?
Michael, can you
information, or
repeat the
maybe,
question, hon?
You know,
They can't hear
well, mind
it.
you, if they're scammers, they.
Repeat the
they-
question that she's asking.
Question. Okay, so Shabari was wondering if I had done anything about that if it was able to be downloaded still like that for $7. And that's a negative. We stopped that a couple months ago. You now can download only individual records. And the second question she had is, can I require information from the person downloading before I give that information? I don't know the answer to that, but I think that is a great point. And if I'm able to do that, I will certainly do that. So then I give Rick Bradshaw and his scams team, because he has a scam force, a little more information to go from.
The IP address would probably be the most reliable thing.
Yeah, the IP address.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that. So we got a question from Judy Berman. Judy, what's your question?
My question is, how many of the people here thought that the beach erosion issue, which is critical, was going to be addressed today? I, for one, thought it was going to be addressed.
I think that
Now it's being, excuse me, I'm not quite finished.
Okay.
Now it's
Could you
being
do that?
sidetracked.
Beach erosion
It
issue?
can't be sidetracked.
Okay, let me tell everybody what you're talking about.
Just a minute. All concerned about real estate values, about taxes, et cetera, et cetera. Who is going to come
Glenn,
to Singer Island?
commented on that right in the beginning.
Right.
I'll ask him to come up at the end.
Yeah, but the flyer that came out said that there would be some
On the 16th,
address, a name.
December 16th,
December 16th.
December
That's
6th.
this arena.
yes,
December
Yes.
16th.
December 16th.
Judy's concerned about property beach erosion and property taxes, and that she thought it was supposed to be discussed here today, but I'm understanding that it's supposed to be discussed on the 16th.
Okay, because who's gonna buy a property on Singer Island without a beach? And
Right.
that was.
And
my first-
I've seen
My
it.
second thing is,
Second
it has
question.
been, since I'm very concerned about it, obviously, a lose-lose situation. A lose situation for the turtles because there's no beach for them to nest on,
Right.
and a lose situation for the people who live there, who have real estate investments, and because they have no beach, and who's gonna come and buy property there with no beach?
I agree.
The fact is, there are some areas I just wanted to get this in because.
Judy's very concerned about the sand. It's a lose-lose situation with no beaches,
We have friends
turtles, people
south of us
south of us.
at Anwood, which if you live on Singer Island, you know where that is. And they have beach there. So what's happening is there's a tremendous amount of wash off and erosion that the beaches from the north are being hit with. And the sand is landing. I have been living in this property for almost 15 years. Sand has been brought in. We
Yes.
have paid for it and it's going up in smoke.
Honey, you're talking to the wrong person.
Well,
Yeah, I don't want to stop you from, this is a very, very important question for us, but it's something that's going to be dealt with on the 16th, and perhaps Commissioner Powell can address it from the county perspective, but Mike's time is running very short here, and we want to let him finish, and then we'll move on to Bobby Powell, and I promise you, Glenn will be there. He's there in person. Glenn can speak with you about how the city is dealing with this, and then Bobby about the county. So go ahead, Mike, you can finish, and then we'll move on to Commissioner Powell.
I know that, and I'll address it from what I know as a state legislator. I know that I've gotten appropriations for beach renourishment in Singer Island in the past during my tenure as a state rep. I know that needs to be done again, and it's your legislature that authorizes that and comes up with the money for it. I know that they typically set aside $50 to $100 million for beach renourishment projects throughout the state. We all know that sand goes from the north to the south. That's a process that's going to continue. And I know that the severity of the beach erosion here in Singer Island, Riviera Beach, it is being addressed. I know.
And Glenn is going to have a whole session about this, and so we'll do it then. But we want to thank you, Mike, for being here with us.
We had a dredging project up in off of Palm Beach Shores here that we just got done, $5 million. And I think I got $1 million from the state for that. I know Mayor Fires, Kathleen, everybody, and the Riviera Beach were all concerned about that and worked together to make that happen. Bobby Powell, I think, sponsored as a senator, sponsored the appropriation on the Senate side. And I'm happy to tell that project's done, and now traffic can go through there without any hiccups. Boat traffic. So thank you again for inviting me here today. I want to Julie, I want to give out my cell phone number. It's 561-702-9319. That's 561-702-9319. And watch out for scams. If there's anything I can do as a clerk for you, I'm here to help. And that's our motto, and that's what we do.
Can you repeat that, sir?
561-702-9319. And that's the cell. It's the only one I got. So it's the one Bobby calls me on all the time.
Thank you so much, Mike. It was really, so informative, and that business about the scams, oh my goodness, it's thank you. You really have given us a good warning. We appreciate it. And now we will ask Bobby Powell to take the hot seat. Commissioner Powell.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Bobby Powell.
Commissioner Powell represents District 7 on the Palm Beach County Commission. But of course, before joining the commission, Bobby served both in the Florida House and the Florida Senate, where he worked on a wide range of issues impacting education, healthcare. He is the embodiment of the phrase, "A life of service is a life well lived." So we're so pleased that he's able to join us this morning. Commissioner Powell.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Votel. Good morning, Glenn, Commissioner, Councilman. It is good to be here with you all this morning. Of course, serving as the county commissioner after serving in the state house for 4 years, the state senate for 8 years, and now the county commission. I've held different roles. Each role has been interesting. People will ask me often, which one is the best? Did you enjoy the Senate more or the House more? Or the county commission? I mean, here's the deal. And I'm sure Clerk Caruso could agree to this. Each role that we've served in, we've enjoyed and worked in the role that we're in. I remember when Clerk Caruso ran for state representative the first time, and he ran as a common sense candidate. And he was actually not the odds-on favor in the Republican primary. And because he came out and he spoke and he communicated well with people and he touched people's hearts and was the people's choice, he won that election by a lot, right?
By a lot, 32 votes. 120,000 people voted.
Then I mean, but in your Republican primary,
Oh.
the first time.
I crushed it.
Yes, the first time.
Yeah, two.
And then you had a general election where we call him Landslide Caruso. But he's been a pleasure to work with. Of course, as a senator, he's been my colleague in the House, and we've sponsored not only the dredging project for Palm Beach Shores, but we sponsored together a lot of legislation and a lot of appropriations that we're able to get through in both the House and the Senate with his help. Today, I'm here to
The
talk
Riviera Beach Mobile Command Center.
the Riviera Beach Mobile Command. What was that, $1 million?
I think it's $1 million.
Yeah, which has been helpful because Riviera Beach, Glenn, as you know, crime has gone down. Speaking of crime and the police in Riviera Beach, let me go ahead and, I don't know if people have heard about the movement of the police department. That is something that's coming before the county. It was agendaed for December 2nd, so that the county has $1.5 million, which they have supplemented for the construction of the aquatic center, which now is Barracuda Bay. And in order to amend that agreement, this would be the third amendment to the agreement. It was amended in 1997 to 2000, 2003. This would be the third amendment to the agreement that would push that 1.5 million to 2027 or to whenever the aquatic facility is done. I have reviewed the documentation that has been submitted by the city and have been in correspondence, or my team should have corresponded yesterday with city staff in terms of what we're looking for to move the process forward. It was voted on by the council. What was that, November?
2 meetings ago.
2 meetings ago. So that's happening. As you know, Riviera Beach fire departments, fire stations have been constructed.
You should add that you held a town hall meeting on this.
We did. We held the town hall meeting, I believe it was September, I want to say Thursday, maybe it was the 18th or 19th. It was a Thursday in September, and we had really good dialogue and discussion, and it was right here in Riviera Beach at the fire station number 87. 87. Wonderful facility. So it's good to be back home here in Riviera Beach. Okay, good. Good to be back home here in Riviera Beach. We'll just move this a little bit. And to be able to discuss some of the things that happen at the county. Now, we are working with our Palm Beach County legislative delegation, which consists of both our state representatives and our state senators in terms of what's happening in Tallahassee. Let me make a comment with regard to beach erosion. Clerk Caruso indicated that the state does set aside every year anywhere from $50 million to $100 million for beach erosion specifically. And it continues to be set aside. There are, and usually Riviera Beach or Palm Beach County gets a part of that funding for our coastline. And I don't expect anything differently this year. We, as the county, have implemented a little bit more money for our lobbying team. So we've invested more in lobbying. So we expect to receive more in funding from both the state and the federal government in terms of projects here in Palm Beach County. Maria Marino, who works, somebody's trying to get in, alongside me as a colleague, she also represents this area. We actually split parts of, I get a part of Peanut Island, she gets a part of Peanut Island, she gets Singer Island, I get parts of Riviera Beach. So we work together for our community and for Palm Beach County for Riviera Beach. One of the things that we're dealing with at the county is the idea of property taxes. How many of us would like to see property taxes go down? How many of us would like to see them go away?
No.
Well, I'll tell you, the state has 8 proposals, the state house. The Senate has none. And by the way, and I'm not going to be here too long because I know we're already past time. So there's the House and the Senate. They're bicameral legislature. Whatever passes in the House has to pass in the Senate. The Senate doesn't have anything on the agenda yet. There has been a senator by the name of Mac Bernard. I've heard of him before. I don't know where he's from, who has proposed a couple of tax proposals. And in the House, they have 8 proposals that are currently moving. I think 3 or 4 were on the agenda last week that are consistently moving, that 1 or 2 may get on the agenda prior to the first day of session, or maybe on the first day of session. We'll see how that goes. But I will tell you that if property taxes are eliminated, for those of us with homesteads, we would, if they're completely eliminated, those of us with homesteads may see a rainfall. However, those of us who rent will probably see an increase, right? Because if you get rid of homesteaded taxes, somebody's got to pay it. So common sense proposals will work. I think they're looking at different ways to put this on the ballot. Plus, it has to pass by 60% of the vote on the ballot once it is put in the ballot. Now, if it gets 56, 55, 58, 59 throughout the state of Florida, it doesn't pass. Plus, we've got some constrained counties that we're also working with. That's one of the priorities that the county is looking at. We've had this issue with our Blaise Ngolia. He's our CFO. It used to be Jimmy Petronas, who went on to Congress. Blaise Ngolia, former senator, former state representative, has indicated that the county has got $346 million in funding that we're overspending. But he hasn't indicated where exactly that has come from and the numbers. So we have pushed back. Our county administrator has pushed back. We've challenged his numbers and asked him to show us specifics. That has also happened in different areas. So we'll see. Yes.
What's the consequences for Palm Beach Shores and Riviera Beach if we have no property taxes coming in? What do we have to eliminate from our budgets and our police force and our firemen, et cetera, correct?
They would just be funded in other ways.
Yes, but by the state, not by us.
They said that they would hold public safety harmless, which only specifically spoke to police. For fire, nothing has really been stated. In terms of trash pickup, you probably have to deal with that here in the city because the Riviera Beach has its own collection. It doesn't deal with solid waste, right? In the county, we have the Solid Waste Authority, which has its own separate MSTU, or it's separate.
Only homestead,
Potentially homestead,
not everybody else.
not everybody else.
So the industrial, only homestead is what they're looking to get away with, correct?
Potentially. We don't know what would happen.
Correct.
The only cities that would probably not be impacted as bad as others would be Riviera Beach, because Singer Island, which pays 53% of the taxes for the city of Riviera Beach, probably 90% of the people are not homesteaded. So they're gonna pay full taxes.
Property taxes in Palm Beach Shores, to take that away, we no longer can provide you any services because property tax is the only revenue we get in our town. And that's true for many towns in the state.
Well, what you also see is
How many people who are homestead and they haven't been here 10 years? And their property is deteriorated that you wouldn't be even able to live there, yet they pay almost nothing.
we don't know if they're homesteaded and they haven't been here. If no one's living in the home and they don't have a home, if they have a homestead in another state, they should not also have a homestead here. If they do, if you report it, then the tax collector would then remove it, right? For those people, and I'll explain it like this as well. Although a lot of people who are homesteaded pay taxes, let's not forget the people who are renters. For example, if I own a property in Riviera Beach, whether it's Singer Island or the mainland, If I'm renting that property, I pay property taxes. The person, let's be clear, I directly pay the property taxes because I'm the owner of the property. But it's really a pass through because if you're renting a property from me, I'm going to increase your rent enough so that you're paying that additional property tax. What you'll see is if we increase property taxes for renters, it's going to increase, or we increase property taxes for non-homesteaded properties. Those rental properties will become even more expensive, and you'll probably see people who are currently renting moving out or living on the streets. Just like we passed legislation that says people can't sleep in public quarters. And I deal with this every day. People calling my office asking, what are we going to do? Because they're losing their place to stay. They're being evicted. They can't pay their rent. What am I going to do about it? The truth is, we've got community action, which pays rent for 1 month. And if they've already used it once a year, they can't use it again. Additionally, if your month is more than your money, there's nothing that the county or the state can do about it. There are county assistance programs. The biggest thing that we're dealing with in Palm Beach County right now is housing. We are working on a number of programs to help with housing. Riviera Beach has been very instrumental with the construction of new housing. Recently, Villa Solanos has been ground broke, which will be a for sale community. We're not seeing a lot of those. We've got the housing bond in Palm Beach County, $200 million, which we've used currently about $130 million of that for the construction of new housing projects. It's basically gap funding. In addition to that, we've got a new program that will use up to $50,000 per individual for down payment assistance, first-time home buyers. Up to 50,000. If they've only got 10,000, it's a matching program. We'll match 10,000. If they've only got 20, we'll match 20. If they have 50, the county will possibly and potentially match 50. But there's a certain amount of money that's in there due to the fee in lieu program that developers pay a fee in lieu instead of developing affordable units or workforce units on site. They will pay a fee to be put into this fund that could then be used by the county for that. Property taxes, housing, transportation, that's been an issue. The county is currently doing a county-wide transportation master plan. There were public hearings held all over the county to deal with this, to look at issues with regard to traffic. As you all know, Palm Beach County is growing tremendously. As Broward and Dade become outpaced and outmatched, you're seeing a lot more growth here in Palm Beach County. In downtown West Palm Beach alone, we're getting Vanderbilt University, which there was a $300 million investment into that particular project. Vanderbilt will be a master's level program dealing specifically with AI, engineering, and finance. That's why they're calling us the Wall Street of the South. We have Vanderbilt, we have Palm Beach State College, we have Palm Beach Atlantic University. And then if you've been watching Florida Atlantic University, it's really starting to focus on its Masters of Science in Finance. So Palm Beach County is becoming the Wall Street of the South, and we need to make sure that we're watching that wave, we're watching that trend, and we're watching it as it happens. It affects here on the island, the mainland, all of downtown West Palm Beach, because as growth happens, it will expand into all of these areas and it will become a lot more pressurized, and you'll see a lot more traffic crossing the bridge. You'll see a lot more traffic on all of the streets that we equally use. With that being said, I know it's 10:15. I don't have a whole lot of time, but I got some time for a few questions. Yes, sir.
One of the big issues that's come up recently in Riviera Beach is the possibility of a 300-foot tower being built at the base of the Blue Heron Bridge, right there as you come over on the south side. And I've communicated with the developers who put out a brochure that said, yes, this building is going to be 300 foot and it's going to shadow the dive area every morning of the day of the year. The dive area happens to be a county park. It's Philip Faulkner, which is one of the two in the entire state's underwater parks. It's a home of a lot of wildlife. I retained experts with the, national organization CSA that surveyed the area and found sea lice all over the area, seagrasses and everything, that endangered species. So it's an ongoing process now, but the county's directly involved because this is their park that's going to be shadowed and frankly ruined because you can't snorkel and dive in shadowed water.
Or swim.
What can we do about that to get the county involved to make sure that they protect the park? This park is used by everyone in Riviera Beach. I mean, every day, hundreds of people walk across the bridge from the mainland. And it's because it's a wonderful, safe place.
It's world renowned.
It's
Yeah.
world renowned,
Phil
it's in
Foster.
books, and we don't want this destroyed, and we're not against development. But this development directly impacts the county park, and we're gonna lose something very important. What can we do? Who should we contact?
Well, the first thing you should be doing is working with your city's planning and zoning department. The second thing is making sure that the county is aware, if we are adjacent, which is Phil Foster Park would be adjacent to the tower.
Yep.
Is it separated by the water?
Yep.
We,
Well, I mean, no, because the water goes right up to the tower.
yeah,
But the tower shadow is gonna cover the water.
we may want to contact County Parks and Rec
I
to find out what we can do,
can't
but
get any traction. Want to find someone that, is there a state agency that's involved in protecting the seagrasses?
DEP, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and you got the, when we build docks, Army Corps of Engineer. So you may want to contact DEP and the Army Corps with regard to, but I'm not sure how the shadowing would work. It may create opportunities for lawsuits.
Oh, yeah.
But I, again, as a planner, generally speaking, I wouldn't know how that would work if it's an adjacent property, other than it rendering our property unusable. And if you say the shadowing would cause damage, then you're looking probably at some kind of condemnation. But I'm not an attorney, that would be outside of my realm.
I mean, it's really I've talked to Irv and I've talked to people and they all very concerned, but no one seems to say, hey, let's get involved, let's contact the city of Riviera Beach, tell them we want to protect this park. It's ours, at the county park.
I don't know the answer to that. Send me an email on it. I'll contact Jennifer Cirillo, County Parks and Rec Director, and then Whitney Carroll, who's head of planning and zoning. But again, planning and zoning for the county doesn't cover Riviera Beach because Riviera Beach has its own planning and zoning
What
department.
is your email that we should?
B as in boy, Powell, Powell, at pbc.gov. And you can always reach us at 561-355-2207.
Also, please, everyone who's here, please contact your council members, whether you're for or against that. Those two 28-story towers, high-rise development there. It cannot happen without 3 votes from the city council.
Yeah. So is that some type of special use?
It's
It's a height, is it a height allowance?
It's a variance.
It's a special use under our zoning.
Okay,
In this CRA district.
yeah, you
where-
definitely want to
so you
contact.
need 3 votes from the city council, so please make sure you contact your city council members. I would recommend to our state representatives that the live local law be changed and take environment into consideration, is that the city council does not have any control over.
Yeah, and they've made all sorts of allowances for live local, including being able to construct homes in industrial areas, which could be a challenge. Of course, if it's an industrial, it'll be affordable because depending on what's happening, if it's a cement batch mixing plant, you got housing, I'm not gonna move there. Clerk?
Commissioner, if you could go, you've got the microphone, if you could go over the program for the condominiums, $175,000 for hardening against hurricanes. That just mentioned that program and that everybody needs to get in their application for their condos really early because the money dries up quickly.
Oh, yeah, you might wanna give me.
Representative Edmonds mentioned it in his presentation and
Wait.
gave us,
It's the My Safe Florida Home Program? Is
yes.
that it? And for condos. So you want to put in an application now, I don't have the information. I think it's My Safe Florida Home or you can go to the CFO website, CFO of the state of Florida, and go directly from there into that application and fill it out. As Clerk Caruso indicated, you want to fill that out rather quickly because the money goes up away really quickly. The state appropriates funding. That funding hits. When does it hit? July 1st?
They said it was exhausted for this year, but it would be refunded for next year.
So
July 1.
on July 1st, 2026, the funds would be there again. That application needs to be in rather quickly. I think it works. I'm not sure. It may work as a reimbursement program where you spend the money first and then get reimbursed. So,
And it's first come.
and
Cozy will investigate this and put something out so everybody has the information.
it is first come, first serve. So you want to be aware of it. And I know there's questions with regard to, what do we call those? Reserve funds and
Reserves.
your condo fees. Jason Pizzo, Senator Pizzo and Senator, what's her name? Bradley, Jennifer Bradley, had been working on some mitigation measures to this. Clerk, do you know anything about where we are with regard to reserves and making sure that people are not losing their homes if their condos don't have the proper amount of reserves? Because what we're seeing is excessive fees being charged in some areas.
6-digit assessment sometimes.
And when people get hit with those assessments and they can't pay, they lose their condos and people have had to move out. I know specifically some condos in my district where people have moved out because they can't afford it. They've gone back up north or to other states, Georgia, Alabama, even Texas. You know, it's sad when Florida's losing people to Texas. I'm just saying.
Stretched out over 10 years.
Yeah, I
And,
believe that they're letting you come up with a line of credit now. In the
Yeah.
beginning, you weren't allowed to do a line of credit, but now they will let us do a line of credit, and that will
That
keep the
so
cost down
In
substantially.
lieu of the assessment.
In lieu of the assessment.
Right.
There's a line of, okay, I need to read a little bit more about that so I can know, because we're seeing it happen and it's happening. And there
I'll have Walter send you that information
are people taking advantage.
and she can disperse it.
Did you hear that, Julie?
Yes, I did. Thanks. Yeah, we'll get the information out to everybody. Any other questions for Avi? Okay.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you so much for being here, Bobby. We really appreciate it. So you're always there for us, and we can't tell you how grateful we are.
Well-
We want to thank all of our presenters today from the city, the county, the state. It's so important that we have this information. We've got some great information today, and we appreciate that. We have recorded this meeting. It will be posted on the COSI website, where you can also see upcoming dates, meeting dates and locations. We want to tell everybody have a happy holiday. We'll see you in the new year. And thank you again, everybody, for being here.
Myself and Clerk got everybody in our picture, all right?
All right, good. Send me that, Bobby, because I'm away. I'd like to see it.
I'll send it to you right now because if
All
I
right.
don't now.
Thank you. Thanks again, Mike.
You bet.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
You too.
Very much.